is a recording of the session that I gave at the Nordic Sitecore Conference on November 5th, 2015 in Malmo, Sweden. My presentation will be on Sitecore Rocks. My name is Robbert Hock and I'm a freelance Sitecore developer from the Netherlands. I'm a Sitecore MVP since 2010 and co-founder of the Sitecore user group the Netherlands. I'm also a co-organizer of SUGCON Europe 2015. Follow me on Twitter and check out my website. On today's agenda is actually only Sitecore Rocks. Since we don't have much time and I really want to put everything in, let's continue. So have you used Sitecore Rocks? I'm a profound user of Sitecore Rocks. Maybe you haven't used Sitecore Rocks. With my presentation, I hope to give you some valuable tips and tricks on using Sitecore Rocks in the future while developing Sitecore applications. In order to show you the capabilities of Sitecore Rocks, I'm going to use a website called launchsitecore.net. So let's jump to this website straight away. This is actually launchsitecore.net. It's just a plain website built upon Sitecore, and it contains just some normal pages. It's actually developed by Sitecore itself, and it gives you an understanding of how to do certain things with Sitecore. What's interesting is here on this side, it keeps track of my visit details. So as you can see, it now targets me as a developer, and probably because I clicked this link, developing in Sitecore. It keeps track of all my visited pages, etc., my reached goals. So if I now come back to the home page, I can see that I have a different slider, and that's probably because I've just clicked through the website. So it shows the capabilities of the Sitecore digital platform. Now let's move to Sitecore, to Visual Studio. I assume that you already installed Sitecore Rocks itself. If you haven't, go to the Extensions Manager, and you guys go to the Online tab, search for Rocks and install it through the Extensions Manager. I'm currently using version 1.5.1.8, and it's currently the latest version of Sitecore Rocks. So this is the Sitecore Explorer. Let's set the master database as my active database, and now let's move on to the templates. Let's go to the base templates of launchsitecore.net. So now on the base templates, I'm going to add a new template, and I'm going to call it Metabase. And Metabase will serve as a base template for all my page templates. It's actually going to contain the metadata, like meta keywords and a meta description. Save that one. There are both single line text. You can use the drop down to say, hey, this field needs to be versioned or shared or unversioned. I'm going to leave it like that. The great thing about Sitecore Rocks is already that you can have set some validations. Try to do this one through the Sitecore content editor, and you won't be able to do it like this. So I'm going to make that one as a required field. Now I'm going to save this. So now the thing that we do is going to immediately create some standard values on it. So as you can see, it's already more intuitive compared to the Sitecore content editor. So I want to set some icons. We can do it through this context menu. This is the first level context menu, and this is the second level. since I'll be setting icons a lot and thumbnails and display names, etc., I want to be able to have it straight away in this first context menu. So here's a hidden feature. You Control Shift right click. Because I'm using a Mac and I'm running Parallels on this Mac, I have to right click next to the template name first, and then do another right click. Nope, that's not something that I want. Yes. So it's a little bit more buggy when using a Mac and then using Parallels. But as we can see on a normal PC, if you Control Shift right click, you can immediately get those grayed out stars. And that means that these items can be favorited immediately in the first level of the context menu. So I'm going to favorite some things that I'm using a lot. I'm going to set the icon, set the thumbnail, display name, and I also like the sorting options. Move first, move last. Didn't want to assign a shortcut. So if we now right click, we can see all those options already here, directly on the first level menu. The great thing is that we are able, if we hold Shift, we are able to select like 3 items immediately, and we can now immediately say, okay, set an icon for this. We can see a lot of icons in here. I'm using Sitecore 8, so we can also see some Sitecore 8 icons here. But I'm going to use the search functionality. It's a requested feature I did for Sitecore Rocks. And let's set this icon. Since we're in Sweden now, I'm going to add the Sweden flag immediately to these 3 items, which is great. If I now say right click on the standard values, I can also say, hey, I want to move this one as the first one. So now you can switch, but you can also drag the order and say, hey, I want to have those standard values as my last item. What's also handy in terms of templates is I'm going to add a team members field, and I'm going to make this as a tree list field. So I'm going to save this template, and because we already selected here the tree list field and saved it, now Sitecore Rocks is capable of making use of this source builder. So if we now click the build, it's actually it builds the field data source, and now you can see a lot of parameters, and these parameters are specifically for this tree list field. So Sitecore Rocks detects the field type and immediately fills this specific parameters. So I'm going to select, because we're actually adding to each article a team members field where we can select the team members. I'm going to say, hey, this is my data source. No, I do not want that. So this will be my data source where all my team members are. So I'm going to select it, but I don't want to be able to select the team folder itself. So we're going to include some templates for selection. And we know that the template is called team member. We can easily search. That is not what I want, but I want this template actually. So This one is actually on the templates, launch sitecore.net, and then team member. So I want to be able to select those team members. So now we can easily build the whole source to actually build the field data source really easily with Sitecore Rocks. Let's save this, and now let's go into a article page. This is an article page. Now go a little bit below. We can see here the newly added field, team members, and I'm not able to click on the team, but I am able to select some team members. So Sitecore Rocks really can help you using like setting the sources for some fields. Now that we added those this template Metabase, I want to set it as a base template, for example, for my homepage. So I'm going to set this as my base template. And as you can see, currently the homepage consists of a couple of base templates like menu item, site route, general fields. But instead of having a tree list in the normal Sitecore content editor, we can easily search for like meta and then select, okay, this is this base template, launch sitecore.net, and select this Metabase template. So let's save it, and now actually move to my home item. And as you can see, this metadata base template has now been added to the homepage item. But it's not on the location that I expected. It's actually now on the second template section. But I want my content editors to fill in the metadata first and then editing the home page specific content. So we're going to set a different sort, and it's really easy to set a different sort with Sitecore Rocks to get your sort order straight for your templates. So I'm going to use the sort order, the sort fields, and as you can see now, the home section sort order is now 0, and the metadata section is also 0. You always have to take into consideration your inheritance, because for example, this general section could also be added as a base template to other page types, so you need to keep track of all those sorting numbers. Let's now adjust this homepage to 50. This metadata will be positioned at sorted as 0. So let's save this. Let's close all documents and let's open the homepage now again. And as you can see now, the metadata is now at the first template section, and the home is now on the second template section. So that's it for templates. Let's move on now to the content, because Sitecore Rocks really offers great capabilities of you working with content. So now let's say, okay, I want to open the audience. With Sitecore Rocks, it's easy to say, okay, we have an audience segment, and this is my audience segment. So this just adds one item. Wouldn't it be great for developing purposes if we say, hey, I want to add straight away like 30 items. So we add a new item, which will be of which we can filter again, which will be audience segment. And let's add some 30 items straight away. So add those 30 items, they get adjusted. It's just for testing purposes on a development environment. It really comes in handy. And Sitecore Rocks just adds like 30 items. It immediately goes into some kind of an edit mode for those 30 items. Great thing about Sitecore Rocks is also that we can say, hey, we select these items, hey, we want to delete immediately more than one item at a time. So we can delete those 12 items very easily. Try to do that one with the Sitecore content editor. You just can't. So let's edit those items straight away. Now edit those items. So now we are editing multiple items, and actually we're now editing 8 items. So this is the basic thing how it looks. A new feature that was added to Sitecore Rocks is actually the ribbon. So with this context menu, I'm going to activate the ribbon, and that's really something that I like. We can easily collapse all the sections here, but we can also say, okay, expand all the sections. It works. Expand it. Yes, there it goes. Sometimes it has a little hiccup. So now, just for testing purposes, we want to add some text. Well, Sitecore Rocks has some great functionality. Just add some lorem ipsum and add this, and we add some more text. Okay, and in this body text, we're going to add some lorem ipsum, etc. Hey, this actually needs to be like uppercase. So I just want to have this text uppercase, which is very good in Sitecore Rocks. We can also, in case you just want to HTML encode some stuff, we actually don't have it here. For example, if we add a paragraph tag to it, we can easily say, okay, this whole select this one. We can say HTML encode this. So now we are HTML encoding this. So now we can see, for example, in item 14, we can see that those texts were actually edited also in item 14 and not in item 21. The great thing that Sitecore Rocks also has is selecting a particular item and using the clipboard functionality. I use it a lot for copying item IDs, template IDs, item paths, but you can easily also do it like this. Copy to the clipboard an item ID, item path, template name. You can easily jump to the templates and actually say, okay, right-clicking, locating in Sitecore Explorer. Now you're immediately going to that template, which is very good. We actually have a couple of views, and I really like the default view. We can also say the good old DB browser view. This is actually the DB browser view. No. we have some tabbed view, which easily makes you be able to jump to a specific section, which is also quite good. So if we now move back to the default view, we can easily filter on certain fields. So if I want to be able to, for example, filter on create, now we can easily see, hey, those are only the two fields created, and it's now we can see it's a datetime field, and created by it's a text field. So you're now really easy to edit. We can say we don't want to show the field information, now the date and the text, so the field type information is now gone. Check this on, and we can also say, hey, I don't want to display the field display titles. Now I just want the original fields. Now you can see it's actually __ created _ created by. That's something which is really good. If you want to have some short text, some help text for your content editors, you can, so you can easily filter on those field types. One thing that is also very good in Sitecore Rocks is that we're here now. Let me close this first. That we have some kind of a quick view panel. Yes, there it goes. Now I'm selecting segment 22. You can easily edit here the raw value straight away. So I'm just like this and like this, and by clicking out it immediately gets saved. So now if we're editing item 23, I want to open it, you can easily see that the abstract and body text are now filled. So the quick view pane is very handy in terms of directly editing raw values. So that's something about content. Like said before, we can use, we call this, we called our template Metabase before. If you search actually for it, you can easily say, hey, Sitecore Rocks, search for this Metabase template. Okay, actually using this one. There you go. You need to actually select the database first. So this is a great way of saying, okay, but let's, for example, say I want to copy this item ID. I want to actually say, okay, I'm here on the master. I also can paste in some GUIDs, and then Sitecore Rocks goes off and finds that specific item with that specific GUID. Now, let's say, for example, we're working currently on the templates, and because we're now seeing maybe we have multiple connections in here, I don't want to see all that, so we are able to scope to this. So now I'm just working, hey, maybe I want to actually scope to this, actually just to the launch Sitecore.net website. So with this functionality, we can now unscope. You can really limit what we're seeing here. No, that's not something that I want. Now actually unscoping this, which is also actually quite nice, is that we're having some favorites. So we can actually drag this item here, and now we have favorite that one. And for example, if we're working a lot with renderings, can easily add some stuff there. So now we can see, okay, as you hover over it, yeah, what's the difference? But still, we can right click, locate in Sitecore Explorer, and it immediately jumps through this specific section. So locate that one into the Sitecore Explorer, which is very handy. We can also make use of here, or downstairs here. We can also make a new library. So we want to have a library, Nordic Sitecore Conference, and I want to say, okay, let's locate this one in Explorer, and I'm going to right click and include this one into my Nordic Sitecore Conference library. So actually favorites and maybe the launch-sitecore.net library are actually pretty much the same functionality. And from here we can also jump immediately to that specific item. So that's something for favoriting. So now this is my site. On a site level, we can manage a lot of things. So by right clicking on the site level, we can manage all kinds of things. We can here see our sites that we are having. So we can easily make adjustments here. Or actually can see how the site is configured. We can see here all kinds of pipelines that we're having. So in this publish item pipeline, we can see, okay, these pipelines are actually, these processes are actually being run. So on the render field, so we can also see here, for example, the MVC pipelines, what happens in a create controller. So these processes are run. Commands, we can also see all the commands that that are currently configured for this Sitecore instance. But the great thing also about this is that we can right click on a specific command and say search for usages. So now Sitecore Rocks opens up the query analyzer. I will come back to that one later on. And we can see, okay, this specific command is used on this large button. Let's jump through this large button straight away. And probably we're now getting somewhere in the core database. So let's open up this item and we can see, this command was actually used here on the click field. You can see some temp fields, some caches, and this filter functionality is also something that are requested, but it's not currently in it's not currently in this version of Sitecore Rocks. I hope it will get there in the next version of Sitecore Rocks. So for caches we can easily filter on, for example, website. That's why it's also good to have this filter functionality on the commands, so that we can immediately filter on our own custom commands, because I normally prefix them with something, for example, launch-sitecore.net, and then we can easily see, okay, where are those commands used that we are build them ourselves. So we can let's see what's in here. Okay, we currently have one cache key, like a main navigation inside the website HTML. And the great thing is that we now can also clear this specific cache. I just want to clear this one, this website HTML cache. So now you can see, okay, the delta is now being adjusted, and now the size is currently empty again. And we can also, of course, clear all the caches, just like the normal functionality you do with the cache ASPX. We can also see the indexes. Currently, we're only seeing the system index, so we can see what's in there. And yeah, I hear you wondering, hey, what happened to the Sitecore Master Index, Sitecore Web Index, Sitecore Core Index? That's because we're currently experiencing a problem with the current version of Sitecore Rocks. That's because it's currently the new CMS indexes are currently not supported. So the Sitecore 8 indexes are currently not supported. I hope it also will be fixed in the next version of Sitecore Rocks. Then you can see some statistics page and validation. Validation is great. So we can have some different views, like an action center, which is probably the current view, but we can also see a tree view. So now you can see, okay, hey, there are some problems with the mail server settings in the web config are missing. So it gives you some valuable hints. And obviously, as you can see here, it really gives you some the reference type, Sitecore Analytics pipelines. It doesn't even exist in this Sitecore Analytics as assembly. So, but probably Sitecore itself is referencing that specific class. So, as we can see here, by just having this default Sitecore installation, we can already see that Sitecore immediately already has a couple of inconsistencies. But we can also see, hey, on templates we have some specific template. Menu type is not used by any items and can be deleted. So let's click on this one. Locate this one in the Explorer. Okay, we now have under this menu type, it's probably not used, and we can say tools. No, we can actually say navigate to the links. And it's not used at all. So that's it for managing. Close all. So that's it for managing on a site level. So I really need to speed up because I'm running out of time. What is great, what is one of my favorite tools is actually Commandy. So Control Shift Spacebar gives us Commandy. Let's execute a command and browse this website. Well, I'm expecting an error, and it's not because I was actually expecting it, but it's actually because there's currently a bug in Sitecore Rocks in this version that we're using. So currently we have a browse ASPX problem, like you saw. like you saw here. And that's because it's actually using a resharper thing in this specific file, Sitecore shell web service browse. I'm loving Total Commander, by the way. So actually, okay. So let's go into this website, Sitecore shell web service browse. Let's edit this file and remove this. So just save it and now reload this page, and it's actually now browsing through this website. Control-Shift spacebar, but there is more. I just want to go straight away to the desktop. And there we go. We're now into the desktop. So Commandy is a really good and great tool. But there are more hidden gems, like to open the expanded config, which is actually more or less the same. It's actually the same as the show config file that you're often running in the browser. And also one great thing to show is that we're here, for example, we're here on the Sitecore item and we want to do a smart publish. Yeah, now it's already smart publishing, and you can already see the job viewer. We get an insight of the job viewer, seeing what it's doing, refreshing. So Sitecore Commandy has some real good tools in there. One of my favorite. Let's do this first. The great thing, we're now executing commands, but we're actually also able to click this. Oh no. And now I'm getting. Commandy also has some great drop-down functionality. So we can, instead of executing a command, we can edit some specific items straight away. We can also search, for example, for a sample item. So, and then immediately go to that specific item. So that's also quite good. But one of my really most used commands is actually through Commandy and fire up Query Analyzer. So using help, executing this, we get a lot of help on what can be used with the Query Analyzer. So if we now say, okay, help use, you can see this specific keyword again. Okay, let's add this one over here. So let's now say, okay, we select everything, or we select start from a specific location in Sitecore. Let's execute this. So we can see now we get only one item back. With /star, we get all the children back of that specific item. If we want to see all the descendants, then we add two slashes, and we get all the descendants of this specific path, like Sitecore layout renderings. I've prepared some. So now if we select star from this specific, and actually we can also use, instead of, we can just insert a path here. So we can also have done like this. Give me a specific, give me all the descendants of this where the template ID matches this certain GUID. So these are all the controller renderings that I'm currently using beneath my launch Sitecore.net website. But we can also, of course, no, multiple states, copy. We want to immediately select two queries. You need to add this semicolon to the line, and we can fire off. Now, if you select one, you actually are only running this specific query. But now, let's see, we get two results. You can immediately say, okay, locate this one again in my Sitecore Explorer, but you can really do some cool things with it. So I have some other cool queries. Okay, give me the name and the source field from a specific template where we order by source descending, and now we can see, hey, probably in my own templates, launch Sitecore, I'm using this. Here is my team members data source that I said earlier on, but I can also see some inconsistencies, and maybe it's done on purpose, maybe it's not. We can see we have three templates here which uses this HTML editor profile, and one is using this HTML editor profile. We can immediately edit it here, but Sitecore Query Analyzer also gives us the ability by updating. So update and set the source field with this rich text body, and update all the items that I'm returning from this path that have this this specific rich text full source. So we're going to update this item. So it's one item affected now. And if we say select again on this, let's execute this, and now we can see we have the same HTML editor profile. John West, CTO of Sitecore, also had a great query on one of his blog posts that immediately gives us the visibility of what specific renderings are cacheable. Currently, none of the Sitecore, none of the renderings are actually cached. So, for example, we want to cache this one, promo with an image. We can say, okay, we need to say filter on cacheable. Let's save this item, and we can also say, okay, we need to, it's cacheable, and we need to have it vary by data and also vary by device. Let's save this one, go back into Query Analyzer, execute this query again. And now we're seeing, oh, hey, this promo with image is actually now, it's actually cached, and it's also cached per device. So I really am using Sitecore Query Analyzer a lot just to analyze some data, to quickly be able to jump to specific items and also to update specific content. There's also a cool feature in Sitecore Rocks, and let's say I'm going to use this one as my active database, and that one is, okay, I need to select an item first, and that's actually Sitecore Cop. So if we're now running Sitecore Cop on the Sitecore core database, we're expecting trouble. And it's just because Sitecore, while developing speak, we can see a lot of errors that are currently implemented in Sitecore. So 2 or more items have the same display name, experience editor on the same level. It gives us an insight on all the, for example, this. On this, read is assigned to the user, extranet anonymous is recommended to assign the security to roles only. So actually Sitecore is not doing everything by best practices. So let's move back here. Let's close these things. Let's get rid of those. So on a site level, we are also able to manage packages. And the great functionality of Sitecore Rocks is creating anti-packages. So we're now having this Sitecore wallpaper manager, which I got from Mike Robbins. If we want to install this package, we can immediately analyze what's inside the package. So instead of opening the zip and seeing what's in there, we can immediately see these are my files, these are the items that the package contains. But we can also create excuse me, we can also create an anti-package, and so if we now click in this anti-package, it packages up the current state of what I'm installing. And of course we can install it straight away. So creating anti-packages, we now see, okay, this anti-packages was created for the Sitecore wallpaper manager. And we can, so when an install fails, we can immediately install this one again, and it should contain, let's create this, it should contain these specific items and these specific files, which is also very good functionality and something that we want to come straight out of the box with Sitecore. So one of the last things that I want to show you is actually the Sitecore Rocks settings folders. There are a couple of user folders and application folders, and then Sitecore Rocks makes use of the registry folders. So if we are opening up the registry and actually jump to the Sitecore, we can see here the Visual Studio. We can see here the customized items, for example, in the context menu. Those are the items that we're currently having added to the context menu. So if we want to get rid of those, we need to clear the cache, restart Visual Studio, and they are gone. Whoops. So there are a couple of handy links on the web, 28 Days of Sitecore Rocks, and check out the YouTube playlist. So that's it for my presentation. I really want to have a special thanks to Jacob Christensen, developer of Sitecore Rocks, who did an awesome job and helped me into preparing these presentations, and also Sean Holmesby for putting the launchsitecore.net website on GitHub. And I also want to thank Mike Robbins for offering the wallpaper manager on the Sitecore marketplace, but due to time constraints, I'm not able to show you this this Speak application itself, but I use it. And remember, Sitecore Rocks will make Sitecore developers happy. So that's it. Thank you for watching this presentation, and see you another time. Thanks to our sponsors of the Sitecore Nordic Conference.